So we finally have our new update for the Trickster, and I thought I'd take some time out to talk about the Trickster in this new update for 5.10 mid-chapter update. And the Trickster has gotten so many different changes, and even for today, I wanted to discuss some things that I experienced. And Trickster is one of my favorite killers to play in this game. And the funny thing is, I don't have all the killers in the game because I spend more time playing the survivors. But all of my favorite killers, they're all lined up in one row that I really main the most, especially the Oni. But there's so many different changes that he's gotten, and I'll just say really quickly, perks like Starstruck is one of the best perks in the game. So someone's going for the flashlight, trying to body block, or break hooks and sabotage or something like that with the toolbox, or maybe they're running Saboteur, which is, I think that was a Jake perk. And your Starstruck is just godly. And now I hate to say this, I think the Trickster is even more dangerous than ever. And now, just with all the changes that he made, I think one particular change that stood out to me the most is it now takes less knives to bring down a survivor. So he can hit you about, what, 5-6 times of a knife, and he can injure you. So he can just hit you with the bat, and then he can just, if he's close enough, he can do whatever he wants in either order. He can hit you with his regular attack with the bat, or he can just start with the knives, and then he can down you with his regular attack from there. But it just seems like the more people are going to be starting to play with him now with all his changes. So he's even more stronger, and with this buff, I think he's more, I don't want to say overpowered, I don't know what you guys think, so that's why I'm making this video, to see if anyone out there would agree, to see what you guys think about the Trickster. Because when he first came out, the Trickster came out with Yunjin, with the Chapter 19 All Kill chapter. I noticed there was less Trickster killers that we were running into in parties and hanging out with some of you guys on and off screen. We ran into less Tricksters than during the release of Chapter 19 for the All Kill chapter, in comparison to this buff from yesterday's update from on Tuesday. Now, almost every match, I'm seeing a consistent amount of Tricksters. I think more people are going to be playing him now, and they're giving him that chance now, because now he has a fighting chance to be able to take control of the map. He can dominate the survivors. Now, you could combo him with any sort of perk. Yeah, Lethal Pursuer, I think you could just get an early start and just find everybody and pick who you want to go after. You'll know who's on the generator, who's going by what, and then you can combo with this with Corrupt Intervention and running the Trickster. So you're already you got a good 120 seconds of a head start, plus the 9 seconds at the beginning of the match of the trial to get a head start and try to find whoever you want to find and target them, depending if it's a group of survivors or just one individual that spawns closer to you for an early start, and get an early down during the trial. It doesn't matter which map it is, because you're going to know where they are at the beginning. But just from my experience, I really enjoy playing them, and I'm having way more better matches than I've had with the Trickster from the beginning. And some people were saying that when he first came out, he was too slow, he's not that strong of a killer. Let's bring up the killers again. And now I think he can go head to head with the Hunters. He might even be a little bit better than the Hunters now, or maybe to be in the maybe he's top tier for some of you guys, maybe. But I don't play too much of I don't have all the killers, as you can see. My favorites like Myers, fan of the movies and all that, but I just favorite these 4 killers the most, and then I play a little bit of Doctor just for the skin here and there, looking like Slenderman, just for the fun of it. But it's just so much fun playing as the Trickster. He's a fun killer to play, and that's what the first impression that people had. Oh, he looks good as a killer. He's one of the best looking killers in the game graphically, and for his Mori, I think he has a lot of style. It's not just a brutal Mori, but he does it. He strikes a pose, he lights you up with those knives, and he throws his card down right on you as a little finisher to strike a pose. But he has one of the best Moris in the game, I think. And now with this buff, maybe, I don't know if you guys will want him to be nerfed again. Maybe it's too much, and maybe way too strong in comparison to these other killers in the game. But I don't know who you guys main for those who play killer or probably play nothing but killer, but I play both sides just for the fun of it. So I just thought I'd just discuss it, and just from my experience from playing yesterday for a couple hours, he just seems like he's way easier to play with now, and now it's going to be an easier time and a much better experience to play against survivors and be able to bring them down. So instead of just taking so long to go after one survivor, you can bring them down easily with just a few knives, with 5 knives and then a regular attack to take them down. And if anyone's trying to get near you, you can just run his Starstruck and just be able to knock them down instantly if anybody's near, lurking around. But I really enjoy this update for what it is. It still has a couple problems with some stuttering I noticed, and perks like Dead Hard triggers lag spikes and all types of different issues with the game and being pushed back randomly. But it's a little bit more stable. I'm glad they brought the map back because we have, I don't know if I had the offering, but the RPD badge is back in session and is back to being re-enabled. So it's just different things like that that makes the game worth playing now. It's even better and it's running smoother, but just some things that it's a little bit of issues with that. But other than that, everything seems to be running smoothly in regards to the gameplay and the matches and being able to play a match in full without experiencing too many problems. But they still have some things that they have to fix before coming out with new content. But I just wanted to talk a little bit about the Trickster and some of his other perks. But perks like his No Way Out, let's bring it up. And Hex crowd control. I like using Bamboozle over crowd control, because crowd control you can just cleanse, but with Bamboozle you can't cleanse it because it's just a regular perk. And then No Way Out, I don't really use that too much. You can block the exits, but it's a pretty good perk that I've seen most people were playing with yesterday with a combo of Blood Warden, No Way Out with Blood Warden to go with it in the mix. So it's pretty good. He has good perks already. Well, exclusive perks at that. But I just wanted to discuss it. I think he's a good killer. I think he could be considered top tier, and most people are going to start picking him now just because of this buff. And there's going to be a consistent amount of tricksters that are going to be coming up in the matches.